Let me break this down because this right here, self-respect, is the foundation of everything. When you lose that, you lose your footing in the whole relationship game. Self-respect isn't about being arrogant. It's about knowing what you deserve and refusing to settle for less than that. It's about looking in the mirror and saying, I know who I am and I know what I bring. See, when a woman forgets that, she starts bending herself in ways she shouldn't just to keep a man around. She starts saying it's fine to things that aren't fine, just to avoid losing somebody who's already halfway out the door. But every time you excuse disrespect, you chip away at your own value. A man can sense when a woman respects herself. It shows up in the way she carries herself, the way she speaks, the way she handles conflict, when she says no and means it, when she refuses to argue about her worth, when she walks away from confusion instead of begging for clarity. That's power. That's not attitude. That's standards. And men may test it, but deep down they respect it. The problem is too many people mistake patience for weakness. You can love someone and still draw a line. You can care deeply and still say, this is not okay. That's not losing love. That's protecting your peace. And let me tell you, peace is priceless. The right man won't be scared off by your standards. He'll be inspired to rise to them. So don't ever discount yourself trying to make someone else comfortable. Because the moment you compromise your self-respect to keep somebody, you've already lost the most valuable thing you had, you. And no relationship is worth trading that away. Let's talk about overgiving, because this one right here can sneak up on you. See, most women give from the heart. It's in your nature to nurture, to care, to build, to make sure everyone's okay. But somewhere along the line, that beautiful instinct can turn into something that works against you. You start giving not because you're being appreciated, but because you're hoping to be appreciated. You start pouring and pouring until your cup runs dry, and then you wonder why you feel empty. Here's the truth. Love was never meant to be one-sided. When you're the only one investing, the only one showing up, the only one trying to make it work, you're not in a relationship. You're in a rescue mission. And let me tell you, you can't save someone who doesn't even see a problem. When you overgive, you teach a man that your time, your effort, your heart all come cheap. Because if he doesn't have to earn your attention, he won't value it. Giving is beautiful when it's mutual. It's healthy when it flows both ways. You bring something to the table, he brings something too. But when you're doing all the emotional labor, all the planning, all the forgiving, that's not love, that's imbalance. And imbalance always leads to burnout. You don't have to prove your love through sacrifice. You don't have to earn affection through exhaustion. Real love isn't about how much you can endure. It's about how much peace you can share. So the next time you feel yourself overextending, stop and ask, is this being appreciated or being expected? Because the moment your giving becomes expected, it's no longer a gift. And if you keep giving where there's no gratitude, you'll start losing yourself where you were meant to be loved. Boundaries. Now, that's where a lot of people get tripped up. Some think boundaries mean being cold, distant, or hard to love. But that's not it at all. Boundaries are not walls, they're guardrails. They don't keep love out, they keep chaos from getting in. A boundary says, I respect myself enough to decide what energy I allow into my life. And when you set those lines with calm confidence, you're not being mean, you're being clear. The truth is, a person without boundaries becomes easy to take advantage of. If you're always available, always forgiving, always accepting less than you deserve, then you teach people that they don't have to give you their best. You end up managing their comfort instead of protecting your own peace. And when that happens, resentment starts to grow. You can't love someone fully if you're constantly swallowing your truth just to keep them happy. See, a boundary is simply saying, this is how I need to be treated. And sticking to it even when it's uncomfortable is not about controlling someone else, is about controlling yourself. It's about saying, I won't stay where I'm disrespected, or I won't argue about things that I've already made clear. When a man sees that kind of strength, he knows you're serious about who you are. And the right man will rise to meet those standards. The wrong one will fall away. People might not like your boundaries at first, especially if they benefited from you not having any. But with time, even they'll learn to respect them. Because boundaries don't push people away. They filter the ones who shouldn't be there. And that's how you keep your peace intact while still keeping your heart open. That's the balance of real love, firm lines with a soft spirit, emotional desperation. It's one of the quickest ways to lose your value in front of a man. And I say that with love because I've seen it happen over and over again. When you start moving from a place of fear instead of faith, you start doing things that betray your own worth. You call too much, you text too fast, you over-explain yourself, you beg for reassurance. You start asking questions like, do you still love me or are we okay every time he gets quiet? That's not love speaking, that's fear whispering that you're not enough. Here's the truth. Desperation repels what confidence attracts. When you're grounded in who you are, you don't chase anyone, you attract them. You don't beg for attention, you command it. A woman who knows her value doesn't panic when someone pulls away. She gives them space because she understands that what's meant for her won't have to be forced. That kind of peace is magnetic. The problem is too many people confuse constant contact with connection. You think if you keep showing up, keep proving your loyalty, keep pouring out love, he'll see your worth. But that's not how it works. A man doesn't fall for the one who tries the hardest. He falls for the one who's sure of herself, the one who can stand alone if she has to. Emotional desperation makes you forget that you're the prize. It makes you chase validation instead of waiting for reciprocity. But the moment you stop begging to be chosen, you start remembering you already are. The energy shifts. You move from I hope he likes me to I hope he's ready for me. And that change, that's where your power lives. Because nothing is more attractive than someone who knows they don't need to chase what they deserve. Self-confidence, now that's the game changer. It's not about being loud or showing off. It's about having that quiet strength that says, I know who I am and I'm good with that. You can feel it when someone walks in a room owning their space, not because they were trying to impress anybody, but because they're comfortable in their own skin. That's what real confidence looks like. It's calm, it's steady, it's powerful without saying a word. See, when you're confident, you don't need constant validation. You don't look for someone to tell you that you're beautiful, worthy, or enough. You already know it. And that energy, that self-assurance, that peace, it's magnetic. A confident woman doesn't compete, she compliments. She doesn't chase love, she chooses it. She's not waiting for someone to make her feel special because she walks in already knowing she is. But when confidence is missing, insecurity takes over. You start comparing yourself to other people, questioning your place in someone's life, trying to earn attention instead of expecting respect. And that's when your value starts to dim, not because you've lost it, but because you stop believing in it. Here's something I've learned. Confidence isn't about perfection. It's about acceptance. It's saying, yeah, I've got flaws, but I'm still worthy. You don't have to have it all together to walk tall. You just have to stop shrinking for people who can't handle your light. A man sees that. He feels it. Confidence tells him, I don't need you to complete me. I'm already whole. And that's the kind of woman who stands out because confidence is contagious. It makes people want to rise to your level, not pull you down to theirs. And once you learn to carry that, your value never goes unnoticed again. Knowing your value is the final key, the crown that ties everything else together. It's not just about confidence. It's about identity. It's about understanding that your worth isn't up for debate and it doesn't rise or fall depending on who walks in or out of your life. When you truly know your value, you stop performing for approval. You stop explaining your heart to people who can't hear it. You stop chasing love that's not meant for you. You realize that your value was built in, it came standard. See, when you don't know your value, you start accepting crumbs because you think a little is better than nothing. You start tolerating behavior that you'd never accept if you believed you deserved more. You let people come and go as they please, hoping one day they'll see how good you are. But here's the truth. They'll see it when you do. A person can only value you at the level you value yourself. Knowing your value means walking in strength even when you're standing alone. It means saying, I'm not hard to love. You just have to be ready. It's not arrogance, it's awareness. You're not above anyone, but you're also not beneath anyone. You can love deeply without losing yourself in the process. The moment you know your value, everything changes. You stop over-explaining, over-giving, overstaying. You start moving with peace. You start choosing people who meet you where you are instead of dragging you down to where they're comfortable. Because when you know your value, you stop asking for a seat at the table. You bring your own chair. And if there's no room, you build your own table. That's the power of self-worth. It doesn't need permission and it never goes on sale.